Fame and money can turn the most modest of people into lovers of luxury, especially when dished out at a tender age like the Harry Potter cast. Today, we look into how the cast of the $7 billion box office series is spending their big bucks. So, how do the cast spend their paychecks? We assume the ones with the Hogwarts logo would have been hefty. Before we jump into the video, why don't you head onto our channel to subscribe for more similar content. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up as well, and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on future content. Let's continue. Daniel Radcliffe. Let us start with the star of the franchise, Daniel Radcliffe, who played Harry Potter. Ever since he put his wand down, the boy wonder has been working into Hollywood's more steady streams. He's been cast as a miracle worker, a Swiss Army man, and has had horns to name a few. His career has earned him a staggering $110 million as paychecks only. Just as the cash has flown in, Daniel has had no trouble spending it. But what may surprise you is his avenue of spending. What Radcliffe has spent most on is real estate. He has purchased not one but 3 apartments in New York City. This is inclusive of a $5.6 million West Village apartment, a $4.9 million Soho apartment, and the last on West 12th Street for $6.2 million. Is this compensation for the lack of space the Dursleys gave him, or is Daniel just taking calculated risks? We would think the sensation like Radcliffe would drive the craziest rides, but this is not the case. Instead, he drives a modest Fiat Grande Punto. Yes, you heard that right, a Fiat Punto that only costs around $4,000. That too if you're reeled in really bad by the car salesman. And no, it does not fly around to his window. Or maybe it does. We just don't know yet. Talking about quirky interests and self-care, Daniel spent a whopping $17,000 on his Sovar mattress when he was just 22. Funnily enough, this is on the cheap side in the extravagant range. Guess the guy is not compromising on his sleep, is he? As passionate as he is about the world of wizardry, the corridors of Hogwarts have made him fall in love with art. What he claims to be his first art love, it's a piece called Mona D, Mary and Me by Jim Hodges. He almost lost out on the piece because he was not recognized as a collector, but the artist, being a massive fanboy of the series, insisted that he would be the buyer. He also dropped $2 million on a kaleidoscope painting. A butterfly painting, as it is called by Damon, instantly caught Daniel's eye. Unfortunately, like the hallways of Hogwarts, these paintings don't talk back to him. Paparazzi is one of the worst parts of being famous. For Daniel, that has been his life since he was a kid. To prank his photographers, Radcliffe bought the same outfit a dozen times. So whenever he goes out, the cliques look like they're just old photos of him being dished out as fresh content. Thus, it was worthless and repetitive. Now that is some Slytherin level evil. Emma Watson. Emma Watson started as a lovable avid witch. Miss Know-It-All has had quite the career. She has made leaps and bounds through her rise to success. Roles in Beauty and the Beast, Little Women, and Perks of Being a Wallflower have earned her $85 million. And the class oozes off her even in her purchases. Her first big purchase from the Harry Potter money was a laptop. This was followed by a holiday with her father and a $30,000 Toyota Prius. Unlike Daniel, she has been known to ride fancy, like her armored Cadillac Escalade worth $95,000. She also owns a sterling black Mercedes E-Class and a $45,000 Audi S3. She has a stunning fairy tale home in the historic Islington section in Greater London. The 2,271 square foot house features 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms and was worth $3.3 million when purchased in 2016. The house was owned by the writer of 1984, George Orwell, so it has a literary connection to it. No one can question her stunning looks and fashion sense, as she is often seen posing in Louis Vuitton or Ralph Lauren. Still being a girly girl, she loves to splurge on jewelry that includes a recent buy of $9,000 Karma El Khalil pyramid drop earrings and a $12,500 trilogy ring that looks a bit like the Pharaoh's version of the Deathly Hallows ring. As a frontrunner in activism and equality fronts, she donates like the champion she is to charities and welfare homes. This includes $1 million that she signed off to the Women's Trouble Hotline. Rupert Grint. The actor may not have been as active as his fellow co-stars, but he can hold out his own as he is valued at $50 million. As you would expect of Ron, he spent his money like a millionaire teenager. He bought a stunning house that, while not as homely as the Burrow, is a sight in itself. The $7.6 million worth mansion sits on a 22.6 acres of land, which houses a Baroque garden and a private lake. The 6-bedroom estate has 2 swimming pools, a jacuzzi, and a gym with a tennis court too. Grint regrettably made an $80,000 purchase when he bought a hovercraft, but this wholesome human decided to fulfill a fantasy by buying an ice cream truck. More specifically, a Bedford Mr. Whippy ice cream truck to serve ice cream out of. Imagine getting ice cream from Ronald Weasley himself. Hand me down a strawberry sorbet, please. One of the lesser known facts about the Harry Potter franchise is that the late Alan Rickman was the only cast member who knew beforehand that Severus Snape, the iconic character he immortalized on screen, was not the negative character he was perceived to be. This was revealed only years later in 2011 by Rickman, who let us know that Rowling shared a tiny piece of information that helped him stay on character to the end. Interesting, right? Now, let's head to the dark side. Tom Felton. Tom, even at the time of the venture, was, as Emma says, the big brother the kids never had. He didn't really achieve much after his role, apart from minor bits here and there. He's worth $20 million. He spent whatever he had made on cars for family and friends, something you'd expect of Draco, as loyalty to Malfoy's comes with perks. Felton bought what is described as too many BMWs before he could even drive. He almost got caught in a tax evasion scandal where he was saved by his accountant. He has a $243,000 Orange Huracan, a $200,000 Urus, and a $500,000 Aventador that has got to give a wider smile than a Nimbus 2000. Ralph Fiennes. What do you think Lord Voldemort spends his money on? Ralph Fiennes is very close to the $50 million mark net worth. He dresses up just as the spy he plays in the King's Man or 007 movies. His favorite thing to buy for himself is handmade leather shoes from John Lobb that range anywhere from $7,000 to $15,000. He is usually suited by Dior Men, where a coat costs $3,000. Another personal favorite of his is Longines Conquest Heritage watches, which the actor is particularly a fan of. A particularly refined nose of an Oxford snot of the Golden British Empire. Pun intended. Alan Rickman. Not mentioning Snape would be a grave sin. The adored villain turned savior was legendary before Harry Potter, with roles in Die Hard and Galaxy Quest. Unfortunately, he passed away too quickly, but had a reported bank account of $20 million. He lived in a West Village apartment in New York City. Appropriate to the man's taste, it had hardwood floors, 12-foot high ceilings, and plenty of natural light. The dimensions were 925 square feet, and it was a 1-bedroom studio with a compact kitchen and a gorgeous fireplace. It was sold for $1.7 million, hopefully to a worthy heir of the Half-Blood Prince. He drove cars that matched his aura as a Bentley Continental Roadster and his personal favorite Maserati Ghibli S, worth $50,000. Rumor has it that he failed the driving test for being too cautious. Perhaps the most heartwarming expenditure of the infamous torturer of Harry Potter was spending money taking friends out. Multiple close family and friends acquaint him as someone who took them on warming personal dinners. Many actors have revealed he was a constant mentor about acting as well as real life scenarios, as well as a terrible gossip partner. Graceful, even offset, always. Which of these actors could you relate to the most? Let us know in the comments below. As always, don't forget the like and subscribe buttons. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.